Welcome everyone to another episode of the Love Island Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. Great to be back again. And where should we start? I mean, should we start with Michael and Amber? I'm kind of bored of it now, but should we start there?
Yeah, let's start there, Dave. And Michael, I've got to say, Jo, who's been on a couple of times, she did say that unfortunately she is ashamed of some of the girls and she's ashamed to call them women. I'm sorry, but Michael is the reason why a lot of women have trust issues with men. He's an absolute prick, isn't he, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tried to rationalise it a bit yesterday, and I said, actually, I do believe he deep down still had those feelings. He's always had those feelings, and he just hasn't been able to express them. And I did say, you know, the people we love the most, we tend to hurt the most because all of those kind of social niceties have dropped out. But, you know, he'd kind of laid it on the line. I thought it was bloody rude for a start. You know, I talk about social niceties and whatever. Well, he doesn't really know Greg, so it doesn't excuse that one, to be honest. So anyway, butted into that conversation. You can still, unfortunately, see that Amber's face just lights up when Michael's there and he's not being abusive. And I use that word intentionally, abusive, because that's what I think it is. So he kind of lays it on the line. And again, Amber, I just have to tip my hat to you because she just calls it out straight away, you know. And then what was that line about? You know, she'd said about when Joanna was leaving, and it's like, oh, well, you said, you know, you'd found what you want. And he said, yeah, but I didn't say who. I'm like, oh, fuck off.
It was a disgrace, that was one of the worst lines of this series. I totally agree. And then, obviously, everyone online who's watched the show has seen this fucking absolute pathetic excuse of a man come up with his bullshit, re-quoted what he said to Caroline when, you know, they were going to go up for the vote, and he said, I've found what I'm looking for, and she's leaving the villa. It's like, you are an absolute dick, mate. And I'm sorry, there's a real smarm and arrogance to him that's coming across now, which I do not like one bit at all. He's an absolute fucking idiot. And she deserves to pay him off. I don't think there's anything there with Greg between her and him, but he's a lot nicer guy, or he seems a lot nicer guy than fucking Michael, because he's coming across like a dickhead. And I'm going full on with all the ladies out there and who say, you know, men that are wankers, because he is an absolute wanker.
Yeah, and, you know, he held up that nice Michael for a little bit, didn't he? You know, after he butted in, which I do say, you know, was pretty rude, and then he'd laid it out on the line kind of the evening before. So the day after, you know, she'd had the discussion with Belle as well. So she found out that Belle had said to Michael, well, you know, I'd told him Joanna's probably not going to wait for you. I'd like to know what Joanna thinks of her mate Belle throwing her under the bus there, but I'm sure she'd like the option. But then when Amber and Michael were having a chat, you can see that just that feistiness in him, that kind of just lack of any patience in what Amber is trying to ask at all. It's like, well, you know, it's all your choice. And, you know, he just very quickly flip-flops between the nice guy and being aggressive. And so, you know, I for a lot of the early days after Casa Amor, I was kind of hoping that they'd get back together. There's going to be a recoupling tomorrow. I really hope she goes with Greg. I think, you know, it's very, very early days. But Greg, he seems like a nice guy. He's certainly got the body for it. He seems to have a bit of chat. He can take the back and forth with her. Don't know if anything's really going to be there, but Michael's had his chance, surely. And I know that she probably is going to want to pick Michael, but I just hope she doesn't.
Yeah, exactly, Dave. I think you've totally brought that down correctly. I'm totally in agreement, and it's just a bellend. But Dave, did you actually see what? I'll be honest with you. It's probably one of the most harrowing things I've seen in Love Island this series. I don't know whether anybody picked up on it, but I need to build up to this, Dave. But fucking Curtis wears socks in bed.
What? It's just a fucking oddball, isn't he?
Sam went, he's got fucking socks. I'm thinking, well, in the deep, dark ages of the winter, sometimes if it's minus summer and the heating's gone off, I have been known to slip on my sort of slippers socks on, but not like that. It was like he gets in bed with more, and I was like, oh my fucking word, what are you doing?
It is bizarre, isn't it? And like you say, we've all probably done it. So when it's absolutely freezing, especially, when you've got no money or you've just got into the house, it's late, so you knock the heating on for a bit, stick it on for an hour, but the house is freezing. Your bed is absolutely ice and needs to be thawed out. So you just get in with pretty much all your clothes on, including your socks. You warm up a little bit and then take them off. But yeah, you're in fucking Mallorca, for fuck's sake. What are you doing?
unless he's got a verruca, Dave. I don't know.
Could be that, couldn't he? Or maybe he's got... No, because we see him about in the daytime, don't we? When he's got like just sandals or flip-flops or whatever on. So it's just bizarre, isn't it? But I don't know. It's a bit of an odd one. It
is very, very strange. And I've saw online, Dave, and I've missed this one. And Sam's saying she really likes him because he's dead funny. I could have missed it completely, but there's a big movement online about Chris saying what a great guy, he's so funny. And I'm thinking, I've missed something here. I don't know about yourself.
Well, I'd said, he thinks he's a lot funnier than he is. And I still think there's a bit of that. But I think I said yesterday, didn't I? He's winning me around a little bit. I did like the whole, would you sooner brush your teeth with a squirrel or lick a goat, for every day for the rest of your life. I kind of like that because it's so goofy. It's just like he's trying to chat her up. I don't think that's a good line. I think it's funny, but you're not trying to chat me up. And, I think it was kind of like when they were doing the whole Men at Work challenge, and then he had his little shirt on and he was pretending to be a quantity surveyor. I thought, oh yeah, that's pretty clever. That making a bit of a tool out of yourself. But then I thought it went on for too long, bit like Chip Daniels, Chris.
Oh, Dave, best thing you can do is shut the fuck up now.
It's just like, so he's got the shirt on and that, and so he's pretending to be a quantity surveyor. And we saw the edited version, but, he's taking his shirt off and that, and he's folding it nicely. That must have gone on for a matter of minutes. And I could just imagine if you were there, it's like, all right, it's getting a bit old now. But yeah, I can see. I don't think he's hilarious or anything like that. But a few of the things that he's done recently are quite funny, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just the clever editing again, isn't it? We don't see it there. Look at Ovi. We thought he was a plank of wood. He's one of the funniest guys going.
Yeah. I did like his approach to just steam on through the brick wall.
Yeah, Dave. He was the best one out of the lot, and he actually won the challenge one. He was fantastic. I think the award for the worst one, yet again, is Tommy and Molly-Mae. He tried to go on Neanderthal, pick her over his shoulder, and then got stuck in that quick. And even Sam's going, I mean, I don't condone, but Sam made me laugh because he went, oh, it'd be a shame if he dropped Molly, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It just... Thinking things through is not one of Tommy's superpowers, is it? No. He's just, as soon as he picked her up, surely everyone's seen, like Jordan, he's pretty strong guy, isn't he? And he got stuck in there with Anna. And the way he threw her over, the way Tommy threw Molly-Mae over his shoulder, part of me was thinking, oh, fucking hell, it's going to be really bad if he drops her. And the other part of me was thinking, oh, this is going to be fucking great if he drops her. So I'm not exactly proud of it, but I was willing for that to happen a little bit, but he managed to make it to the end.
He did, and Ovi obviously lifted up. Oh, what's that girl called, Dave? He was with, I don't know.
India.
India, sorry. Let me say it again. So Ovi lifts India up in the wheelbarrow, total feat of strength. I think all the lads were blown away with that. And I thought thinking Michael and Amber was a bit sickly, and he put it on her then, didn't he? He really went for it with the snog and everything.
It's just like a fucking horror movie. You know, when, like The Ring or something like that. I'm trying to think. Is it The Ring where they just open up the mouth, like, really fucking wide? It's like, what the fuck? But that was kind of a show of masculinity, wasn't it? This is mine. And again, I just not impressed with it, Michael. I think it's even numbers tomorrow, isn't it? And so I don't think anyone's going to be voted off the island, but I kind of think he's done now. I'm done with Michael. I've gone through that journey of thinking he's a good guy and whatever, and then I've kind of been like trying to rationalize and not being an apologist for him, but try and think, okay, so we're not all perfect. This might, on social media, everyone's perfect, aren't they? But now it's like, no, sorry, you're done.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to say one thing, Dave, as a critique. Now, before I do say this, I do think there's a slight problem why Michael and Amber hasn't worked and why Michael's obviously delusional with all this. And I'm also going to say, you know me well, that I've got a massive nose, Dave, haven't I? So let's call it as it is. I'm happy. I take a lot of nose jokes and everything. There's no problem with that. But maybe, and I tried to throw a tweet out to try and be the comedian that I think I am, and it died on its arse. But I did say, maybe Michael didn't hear her. I did see that. Expecting a barrage of likes and retweets because of the sort of double entendre there, Dave. I got 3 likes, and I think one of them was by my own personal account, because that man has got the smallest ears I have ever seen. They are absolutely ridiculous. I think they're a bit cauliflower as well. It looks like he's been whacked on them a few times, but they're unbelievable. I remember a guy I had working for us years ago. He was doing our front garden, like laying the flags, and he was a doorman, and he had a nose proper flat. I was actually quite envious, Dave, of his nose, but
not like your Roman nose.
No, not like this nose at all. But he couldn't actually wear sunglasses because they slipped down his nose because it was that flat, and I thought it was hilarious. But I think he probably would have beat me up, so I stopped laughing at the time. But it's one of them things where with Michael, he's just got an odd head, and and I'm not saying that because I'm not exactly ripped up or anything like he is, but it's just, them ears are a classic. Me and Sam talk about Walter. She always says, they are the weirdest ears I've ever seen. They're tiny, aren't they?
They are tiny. He's got this kind of square Lego head as well, isn't he? If we were describing him, and people hadn't seen that he's actually this tasty dish of a bloke, they'd think he looks like Sloth off the Goonies or something. But no, he is a tasty dish. But those ears, they are weird and just tiny. No, I'm with you there. They are very odd, and they don't jump out at me, but now that you've pointed it out, I'll probably keep noticing it more now.
Sorry, mate. It reminds me of the ears then you used to watch Snoopy and Charlie Brown, because they always got like big round heads.
Yeah.
That's what it just reminds me of. But anyway, let's move quickly on before we get done for body shaming. I'm not body shaming them. I just think they're hilarious when I see them, especially when he's trying to be serious. But anyway, I need to move quickly on. Also, I'm calling her out, Dave. I've said it a couple of episodes. I am sick to death, and you said it the other day, and I used your material, Thomas the Tank Engine. What Molly-Mae can fuck off, because when Amber was talking to her about Michael, as much as not want them together, and he's a bellend, as we just discussed, what does she do? You need to make him work. Make him work. What? With 8 days left or 10 days left? I'm sure she's going to do that, you dick. Just so you don't get your 50K? I don't think so. I think she is the biggest game player in there now.
Yeah, and I just, again, as with Michael, for completely different reasons, I'm done with Molly-Mae. And by default with Tommy as well, they are not going to get a single vote from me again. She is just so transparent, and I don't like her. It's just, but she proves again and again that she's only thinking about that 50K.
I think as well, I mentioned about that stupid expressions. The 50K's in it, no doubt about it. She seems that, this is just going off the show, so I could be completely wrong, that she's the type who the 50K will go into a account, it'll disappear, and she'll say to Tommy, Tommy would say, "Where's that money gone?" "Oh, we spent it." "Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, I need it." Yeah. And he'll never see the fucking end of it.
Do you not remember, Tommy?
Because you know what happens there? I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. You know, when they get the 50k, what somebody actually gets the choice to share it with their partner. Now, the ultimate pie would be Amber and Michael win it. Amber gets the choice to share the 50 grand, and she goes, "Fuck you, I'm going," and takes a lot, and Michael gets nothing. But that's exactly what they get, the choice to choose one of the couples.
Has anyone done that?
No one's done it, but it'd be the ultimate fuck you to Michael, wouldn't it? That would be like Amber just getting him back completely. Karma would come round and bite him right on his fucking weird ears. So, yeah.
No, I'm going to stick my neck out. Predictions for tomorrow. She's going to pick Greg, and Michael's going to still remain in the villa. And again, that pride wall is going to come up, and he's going to be pissed, and there's going to be a bit more drama there.
Let's hope so, Dave. Let's hope so. Now, Dave, I've got to call myself out as well. Emma, who's emailed in a few times, has sent me a message. For some reason, I don't know why I'm doing it, but you know, a meme, I've been calling it a meme. I don't know why. I don't know if it's I think because I'm from Manchester, I've decided to bring my own version of it. But I was getting abused saying it's meme, MEEEEME. So it's a meme and a GIF. I know that, Emma. So I do apologise. So I will, if people are tearing their hair out there, I will correct myself again. Now, Dave, great episode. If you want to get in contact with us, on Twitter at Love Island Cast. If you want to email the show, the loveislandcast@gmail.com. We are available all the time. Send us, quote us on Twitter. If you want to tag us in on anything, please do. And if you do like the show, get onto your podcast catcher and drop us a 5-star review. And we really appreciate all your support, all your downloads, everything. It is humbling. For me and Dave, it was just sat here taking the piss out of Love Island. So we love it. You guys love it. And I just want to thank everyone again. Now, Dave, have you got anything for us?
No, that's brilliant, Chris. Absolutely echo all of those sentiments as well. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night's show. Of course, we've got Saturday, the unseen bits, so there's going to be a dramatic recoupling, and I just hope we don't end up with a cliffhanger. So I think let's just hope for lots of drama, but a bit of a conclusion so I can sleep soundly in the night. Well, thanks a lot for listening, everyone, and we'll speak to you tomorrow.